On May 5th, 8 days ago, I posted a video saying to trade Austin Reaves and keep Dalton Connect. I only say that because I want you to know that I'm not just jumping on a fad based on what Bill Simmons said, right? Bill Simmons said the Lakers will trade Austin Reaves. I'm inclined to think the Lakers do trade Austin Reaves also, which is why I made that video 8 days ago, right? So, just for my channel's credibility, I just want it to be known that I am not chasing just what people are saying. If I'm back on this right now, it's because it's that time of year, right? Trades, a free agency, the draft, it's that time of year to talk about it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about who I think the Lakers should trade Austin Reaves for. My logic behind the Lakers trading Austin Reaves at all, right? And I like Austin Reaves, I really do. And the fact that he came up through the system is special to me, right? He is our guy. Austin Reaves is more a Laker than, you could argue Luka is and LeBron is. He is a true blue Laker, man. And it's hard to see him go, but it's just like, man, this is a team, and your team needs stuff, and it's not about, blind loyalty, right? So with that being said, I think Austin Reaves has to go. The reason why he has to go, in my opinion, is because there's too much redundancy. LeBron does much of what Austin Reaves does, who does much of what Luka does. They all need the ball. And it'd be one thing if Luka was capable of not being such a ball dominant, in a sense, sometimes a ball hog. It'd be one thing if he wasn't allowed to do that. The problem is that he is allowed to do that, and half the time the dude's really good at it. That's the problem. And when that happens, what you're seeing about Austin Reaves' game is it's hard for him to elevate his game. Austin Reaves is really good when he is dribbling the ball, being a baller, being in his zone, playing downhill, right? And with Luka, it's hard for anyone to be able to do that. So then what do you need around a guy like Luka? Because I do believe that while I think, you should watch my past video in which I ask, is Luka only going to get fatter? I believe Luka is a bad investment. For a 10 to 12 year investment, I think he's bad. But I think the Lakers are going to make that investment. So if that is what we're looking at, if that is the case, then where does Austin Reaves fit in? And I'm inclined to think he doesn't. If Austin Reaves needs to be playing downhill to get into his game, right? If you need to let him have the ball and cook, Luka's the wrong guy to have if that's what you need from Austin Reaves. With the way Luka plays, you need a guy who is a 2 to 3 dribble type guy, who is a pull up and shoot type guy, right? Who is a guy that doesn't need the ball in order to feel like he's involved and to get going and whatnot. That's what you need if you have Luka. And I don't think Austin Reaves is that. I think Austin Reaves was that when he was averaging 12 points a game. I think he was that. Right now, Austin Reaves is a fringe all-star, if not an all-star, period. Therefore, what could you do with him, man? I just don't see it, right? So I am entertaining the idea of trading him. And I also believe, I agree with Bill Simmons. I think he will be traded this offseason. And it's probably the right thing to do. Of course, that's contingent on who you get back. But ostensibly, it's probably the right thing to do. You're not going to get the value out of Austin Reaves that you want or need to get from him, right? You're getting a value from a financial perspective, from a contract perspective. But you will not get it from an on-court production perspective, as long as you have Luka there. And as long as Luka is allowed to play the way he plays. Now, if the Lakers go and implement an offense, right, or a movement type offense, a passing type offense, a triangle offense, that's one thing. But I don't think they're going to do that. So with that being said, let's start entertaining the trades. The first trade that I'm looking at, one that I think is kind of fair for both sides and what both sides need, is a trade with Houston for Jalen Green. I think Houston is at that unique spot in a team's life where either you make a trade to do something or you don't, right? And I'll give you two things Houston needs. Houston needs a mature, consistent, reliable type player on their team. And Jalen Green is not that. Jalen Green is not that. The dude is a fantastic talent with huge upside, but he is not that. He is not a 9-to-5 type dude. He is a dude who is very productive, it's just that he works from home at his own hours, at his pace, in his unique style. That's who Jalen Green is. Austin Reaves is a 9-to-5, bring my lunch pail to work type, pays his taxes on time type guy. Do you hear what I'm saying with this? I'm talking about the character of Houston right now. And when you consider, and they got Amen Thompson, and this is why I speak of Amen Thompson. I've seen this scenario before. The scenario they are in with Amen Thompson. And Amen Thompson is a superstar. And they need to let that dude fly. And a lot of times when you got a dude like Jalen Green, it's hard to let a dude like Amen Thompson fly. So, they got Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson, Eason, Alperen Sengun. They're mad talented, man. And I don't think that Jalen Green fits. Right? So if they could substitute out Jalen Green for Austin Reaves, what would that do for them? In my opinion, it adds more character to their team. As far as just a work pail, blue collar mentality. That's what it adds to their team. Jalen Green is high flying and flashy. But it's when you're the number 2 seed and that young, you have to keep building. You have to keep building. You can't stop. Right? And this is the other thing. When you're that young and a number 2 seed and you got a player like Amen Thompson, you do what you got to do to get that guy to be what you think he could be. And when I said I saw this before, I've seen it with the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. The Lakers had a young, fantastic, exciting team. And you were like, damn, if we just keep all these guys for another 3 years, we're going to be NBA champions. That's what you're thinking, right? Lakers get Shaq, and then they start trading those guys. And at the time, I didn't understand it. Like, Nick Van Exel is gone, right? And he's getting replaced by Derek Fisher. And at the time, I'm like, man, Nick Van Exel is the shit, right? He's getting replaced by Derek Fisher. And I saw it coming. And then I saw the Lakers trade Eddie Jones and get back Glenn Rice. And I'm like, man, we loved Eddie Jones. Right? Anthony Peeler is getting traded. I loved Anthony Peeler. Why? They were redundant with Kobe Bryant. And what Kobe Bryant was and what he was to become. Jerry West saw it. I didn't see it at the time, and I think Houston is in a very similar situation. They got Amen Thompson, and the dude is awesome. His whole demeanor is awesome. He is a straight workhorse type dude, right? And in order for him to shine, I don't think Jalen Green could be there. They might could make it work. They might could make it work, but in order for Amen Thompson to shine, you need more of a Robin type personality. See, Jalen Green got a Batman type personality, right? Austin Reaves has a Robin type personality. I'm not saying Austin Reaves is a number 2 on Houston. The number 2 is Alperen Sengun, or the number 1 is Alperen Sengun, and the number 2 is Amen Thompson. Either way, I'm not saying that he is the Robin. I'm saying he has a Robin mentality. And that's what Houston needs right now. They need a lunch pail dude who will come in and game out, be the same kind of player, not so many ups and downs, I could see the Lakers trading Austin Reaves for Jalen Green. I could see that. Or some variation of that kind of package. Some sweetener here, or some sweetener, whatever. I could see that. I could also see, I don't think Houston has a need for Reed Sheppard. Yo, look, man. Amen Thompson got to be allowed to fly. You can't have no number one point guard like Reed Sheppard. You might as well have a Steve Kerr or a John Sumvold or a Tim Legler if you're going to have Amen Thompson on your team, right? All those guys were technically point guards, right? B.J. Armstrong, technically a point guard. They weren't number 3 picks in the draft, those guys. You can't have a Reed Sheppard on your bench. You can't do it. You need Amen Thompson to spread his wings and fly. You got to get rid of Reed Sheppard. He don't fit. And if he's just going to be standing in the corner waiting for kickouts, is that what you drafted? Is that really what you drafted at number 3? Nah, you know that's not what you drafted. Houston is going to have to make a decision. They got to make a decision. It might be some variation of Austin Reaves and filler, right? Austin Reaves. I can't see them giving up a draft pick, but maybe Austin Reaves and that protected first rounder, but some variation of that. I think it's possible to go to Houston for Jalen Green. Or some variation of Reed Sheppard, maybe. Because, hey, man, again, like I said, if J.J. Redick is not going to impose an offense that controls Luka, and Rob Pelinka is not going to put forth... if J.J. Redick won't do that, Rob Pelinka has to put forth a team that kind of controls Luka, right? Or straight incorporates what Luka does into the offense, right? And in my opinion, Jalen Green is more of a 2 to 3 dribble, 5-second hold the ball type dude than Austin Reaves. Jalen Green averages 21 points playing the way Austin Reaves cannot. And what Austin Reaves needs to do in order to get his game going, he cannot do with Luka. Bad situation. He has a better shot of going to Houston and playing that kind of game, right? And allowing an Amen Thompson to spread his wings even more than he did with the Lakers. So, I need to do an entire video to explain how I think Austin could be better next to Amen Thompson than with Luka, and where both sides actually benefit. Because it's a little more complicated than that. But just for purposes of this video, yeah, I think that is the nature of a trade you may see. Austin Reaves to Houston for Amen Thompson, or Reed Sheppard and Steven Adams, or some variation. I don't know what it's going to be, but some variation of that. I could see something like that happening. Houston also has Jabari Smith, who there's no way in hell they trade him for Austin Reaves. No way. But the one that's expendable is, in my opinion, Jalen Green. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. The other trade that I'm looking at is Austin Reaves to Washington for something around Corey Kispert and Tristan Vukcevic, right? If you go back and look at through all my videos, you'll see maybe 2 or 3 videos I have on Tristan Vukcevic. That guy is the steal of free agency. And I think the Lakers could get him as a throw-in. And the Lakers should attempt to get him as a throw-in, right? He is what the Lakers need. And he is the player that J.J. Redick wants to play. You see, All these guys are running around talking about Daniel Gafford, right? Daniel Gafford is not much better than Jackson Hayes. He's not much better than Jackson Hayes. Daniel Gafford, if he gets to the Lakers, he will be deemed quote-unquote unplayable in time. And the talking heads will run with that narrative. And they'll act like all of a sudden Daniel Gafford got to the Lakers and he just sucked. No. Daniel Gafford got to the Lakers, and he's going to have what happens to so many different players when they get to the Lakers. And that is JJ Redick or Luka Doncic or somebody is going to make him be the scapegoat. Right? And I think we all saw that when you aren't of a particular nature player, like in the second half of Game 4 against Minnesota, the Lakers will make you a scapegoat. Somebody in the organization will scapegoat you. And that's what JJ Redick did to the whole rest of the team. He scapegoated them. He helped build the narrative that they were unplayable. When the fact is, JJ Redick just would not play them. Two totally different things. Our team got you there. Those guys got you there. Got you the number 3 seed in a very competitive Western Conference. And you didn't play them. And at the end of the day, almost made them look like they just weren't good enough. Which is a joke. Right? If the Lakers were to get Daniel Gafford, one, he is not the player that JJ Redick wants. JJ Redick wants a stretch big man who could shoot and rebound and defend the paint. Unicorn. That's what he wants. He does not want Daniel Gafford. So in time, Daniel Gafford will be quote-unquote unplayable because JJ doesn't want to play him. So when that happens, all the talking heads are going to jump on the narrative that, yeah, he's unplayable. Like they always do. You know what I mean? Tristan Vukcevic is playable. He's a guy JJ Redick wants to play. He's a guy JJ Redick wants to lean on. And the Lakers should pursue him. And because of where he stands, he could actually be a throw-in. So if the Lakers were to let's say go and trade Austin Reaves for Corey Kispert, who also is a better fit next to Luka because he is a straight up catch and shoot shooter. He ain't a baller. Meaning he does not need to be going downhill in order to get his off, right? He just needs to receive the ball in the right spot. That's all he is. He's a 2-dribble pull-up type cat. You know what I mean? Nothing special, no flash. But if the Lakers were to make a push for Corey Kispert and then ask for Tristan Vukcevic also, they could pull that off. And that might be the move that they ought to make. Like in Django, right? It was that whole talk about getting a Mandingo when who they really wanted was that the German slave, right? The pretty black woman who was a slave. That's who they really wanted. And they got her as a throw-in, but that's who they wanted from the get. Lakers need to pull one of those because both could be useful on the Lakers. And look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not... Okay, so we bring back 2 white players, man. And man, is that going to touch our athleticism? I ain't going to lie, man. I know it might be bigoted, but I often think, yo, man, there's too many white guys on the court, man. Our athleticism is just... We're going to get taken advantage of. I know, hey, man, it's in all of us, man. Don't front. It's in all of us. And, I got to thinking that a little bit. You bring back 2 white dudes. I mean, Tristan Vukcevic is from Serbia or some shit. Actually, he's like Italian. And grew up in Europe speaks very good English, that guy. But, I was going to say he don't count because he's European, but I don't know, man. Chicago Bulls had a lot of white guys at one point. Luke Longley, Kerr, Paxson, Kukoc. But Kukoc, man, like I said, he played like a brother. Ignorant conversations. Anyway, Yeah, that's the other one I'm looking at right now. So as the offseason goes on, I do believe that Austin Reaves is going to be the primary trade chip that the Lakers have. I do believe he is going to get traded. I do believe he has mad value to a team that is looking to add a dimension or a piece or a mentality or a work ethic. He has mad value. And I think he'd fit in really well in Houston. And I would not be surprised if he was traded for some variation of Jalen Green, right? If Austin Reaves and something was traded for Jalen Green. And I would not be surprised if Sheppard some kind of way was involved. I would not be surprised by that. If the Lakers didn't say, okay, we'll give you Austin Reaves and the 31 pick protected top 14 for Jalen Green and Reed, I would not be surprised if I saw something like that. Mind you, if the Lakers were to do that, then the Lakers potentially just now traded for their backcourt of the next 15 years. If they were to do something like that. So that's an interesting thought, right? So, yeah, man, I mean, it's a lot of options. If you notice, I did not speak on too many big men because I think that the Lakers are chasing a fad when it comes to big men. I don't think that the Lakers need what they think they need. And when I say the Lakers, I'm also talking about the talking heads. I don't think they need what they think they need. You know, they keep yelling Daniel Gafford because that's the word of the day. That's the name of the day. You know what I mean? Daniel Gafford ain't what the Lakers need. Ain't what they need. Yo, look at who your coach is. Your coach does not need Daniel Gafford. So why would you go get Daniel Gafford? See, I could understand if you got Daniel Gafford as some type of insurance, right? Daniel Gafford was often a bench player. He played 21 minutes a game. Averaged 12 points and like 7 rebounds. So let's say you projected that over 42 minutes. That's 24 points, 14 rebounds. Oh man, we got to go get him. No, he is not that player, right? I've been watching basketball for 40-something years. And there are some guys, they come in, and when you give them spot minutes, they kick ass. But when you go anything over those spot minutes, all of a sudden it's like, well, what happened? How come if he averages 15 points in 10 minutes, then he should average 30 points in 20, right? Nope. It's not how that player works. 20 points in 20? Nope. That's not how that player works. Some guys just aren't built like that. Yo, like the Raiders used to have this quarterback named Vince Evans. And the reason why I remember him is because at the time, he was one of very few black quarterbacks in the NFL. It was him. Might have been Warren Moon, and it might have been Randall Cunningham. I'm not sure, but one of like 3 black quarterbacks in the whole NFL. And he was a backup for the Raiders. And when he came in and played those backup minutes, the dude kicked ass. And we were like, yo, Vince Evans needs to be playing all the time. This, that, and the other, right? Wrong. Because the next week when he had to start, it's not who the dude was, man. It just wasn't who he was. He was not a starter. You know, he was not a full-time player. And that's the vibe I get from Daniel Gafford. If Daniel Gafford was a 24 and 14 player in 42 minutes, or adjust that for per 36, right? If he could take that and project that over 36, and that would be the case, he would not be available this summer. He would not be up for trade this summer, especially not for no Austin Reaves. You know? So, yeah, as the offseason goes on, you know, I'll keep addressing this stuff because things are fluid. They're going to keep changing. I would not, but I'll just say this very generally. Look for teams that are on the cusp, young and on the cusp, right? So as far as Austin Reaves goes, look for teams like Houston. Look for teams like Oklahoma City if they can't get over the hump. Look for teams like San Antonio. So the 3 Texas teams, right? Look for a team like the Wizards, right? Look for a team like Charlotte. You know, I'm talking about these teams that supposedly should have accumulated talent. But for some reason it's not working, and they're young, but they need a professional. So Austin Reaves being 26 on the contract he's on is fantastic, and he should garner a lot of attention. So anyway, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. I'll keep pumping them out, and please like and subscribe and help this channel get off the ground. Thanks for paying attention.